I said to myself in my mind I'm scary in my legendary Super Saiyan 4 form and I liked feeling absolute dominance and I even have sharp teeth and red eyes in my legendary Berserk Super Saiyan 4 form. I looked imposing and intimidating and I loved it and I laughed like a maniac and Vegeta said enough Kakarot, are you done? And I stopped laughing and said Vegeta, I'm having fun, you're a buzzkill, and I powered down back into my base form and I smirked and I said I love that form, it makes me look like a total badass, I love it. And Vegeta said yes I know a little too much, and then I stood over Brawly and I also waited for him to wake up and I said hi and I said whoa bud, take it easy, and he said you're like me and I said yes I am and I'm also powerful like you, would you please join the Saiyan race as part of my team the Z Fighters? And he said yes sir, just please don't kill us with that terrifying form, and I laughed like a maniac and said no problem, I won't kill you so long as you don't cause any more trouble, and my teeth sharpened with a toothy grin. And Gohan and Trunks were all born special just like me, they too have incredible powers, they are born legendary Super Saiyans with the infinity powers, and I also have another son named Goten, and mine and Frieza's children are extremely powerful hybrids with infinite potential and powers. Frieza is very proud of them because they were pretty much born Frieza black form, that's how they were both born black form. Frieza's with my black hair and a bulky muscular appearance for my son and beautiful and curvy body with toned muscles for my daughter. They both have my black hair but it's spiky like Vegeta's and they can shape shift to look like human Saiyans, which I thought was fascinating. Anyway, I decided to have sex with Frieza and Bulma again and I could no choose to get them pregnant or not, that's one of the perks of being a sex god, so I was now giving my wives all the pleasure without consequences and I loved every second of it, and I decided to make love to Bulma and Frieza for nearly a year. And since my sons and daughters are stronger in this story, no Goku Black arc, it's just not possible all things considered, and Trunks brought back Goku in his timeline, so it's just not possible he'd be killed, he would get slapped, he would lose, it's just not possible folks. Plus Trunks was trained to be a Super Saiyan Blue too and Goku Black is not winning a fight against that. Okay, so moving on, we are now to compete in Champa's tournament because Beerus woke up and he was angry at me and Champa for all the inconvenience, and Beerus said I hate feeling helpless against someone but at least I can beat my brother Champa, and so Beerus came to me and said if you help me beat my brother in his dumbass tournament then I won't cause you any more trouble and you can definitely have my destroyer's position in Universe 7. I hate it anyway and I said okay I will do it, but I want to pick our team, so I gathered Vegeta, Gohan, Majin Buu, Krillin, Android 18 because she often trained with Vegeta in her old suit that I made sure was still new and she could still wear it, and my father Bardock and mine and Frieza's son which I named Freeze, and my daughter's name is Ice, so I made sure everyone got a turn and I made sure to tell my son about Frost, and Freeze fought Frosty and he nearly killed him with a single punch, and I said let your sister have a turn kiddo, and he smirked and said I can beat them all father, we don't need anyone else, and my wife Frieza agreed and I said okay son, and Frieza smiled and my daughter said daddy I wanted to fight them, and I said we will all be able to fight in another tournament soon so don't worry kiddo, and Ice sighed and said oh dad, and I asked how come Cooler never shows up for anything Frieza, and she said because I think he hates you being married to me, my family has actually been very racist against Saiyans my love and I am sorry about that, and I said it's okay darling, it's all fine now I hope, and I kissed her and she blushed, and then I took my wives somewhere in private and I made love to them again, and Lord Beerus said how ridiculous in the middle of a tournament, Goku what are you doing? And I said nothing Lord Beerus, it's natural, and then I saw Hit and my son standing in the middle of the ring after he taught Kaba how to be a true Saiyan, and he also noticed that Hit can use time skip, and Freeze said interesting, I haven't seen this technique in a long time, not since father showed me as a child. Father is a master of everything martial arts and he taught us the same thing years ago and I can't wait to use it again against someone that's obviously a novice, and then I saw him fracture time and I used the same fracture and I was now invisible to him, and I said you seem to be confused Hit and you're a novice with this technique, me and my father mastered it years ago, you barely know what you're doing but you're skilled enough to achieve it and that's saying something.